The desolate road. The engine hummed with a soothing rhythm as I drove along the desolate road, surrounded by a sea of darkness. The clock on the dashboard read 1:23 a.m., and fatigue had begun to weigh heavily upon my eyelids. I knew I should have found a place to rest, but my stubbornness pushed me to press on. The night air was thick with an eerie stillness, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. The moon hid behind a curtain of clouds, casting an oppressive shadow over the landscape. My headlights pierced through the obscurity, offering a narrow beam of clarity ahead. As I continued my solitary journey, a feeling of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The road seemed never-ending, twisting and turning like a serpent through the heart of the wilderness. The dense forest on either side appeared menacing, its towering trees looming over me like silent sentinels. A flicker of movement caught my attention. I squinted, trying to discern what it was, when suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness. A hitched breath caught in my throat as I realized it was a woman standing in the middle of the road, her form illuminated by my headlights. I slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching against the pavement. She was motionless, her back turned towards me. Fear crept up my spine as I considered the possibility of danger. I hesitated, unsure of what to do, when a chill ran through me, a cold gust of wind that seemed to whisper my name. Summoning my courage, I called out, "Excuse me, are you all right? Do you need any help?" There was no response. The woman remained still, her long, unkempt hair obscuring her face. A sense of foreboding washed over me, urging me to drive away, to leave this inexplicable scene behind. But a small voice inside me insisted that I couldn't abandon someone in need. Reluctantly, I stepped out of the car and approached her cautiously. As I drew nearer, the air grew thicker, almost suffocating. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears, drowning out all other sound. With trembling hands, I reached out to touch her shoulder. But before my fingers could make contact, she suddenly turned around. My breath caught in my throat as I saw her face, a ghastly visage, pallid and distorted. Her eyes were empty, devoid of life, and her mouth curled into a grotesque smile that sent a shiver down my spine. I stumbled backward, my heart racing, as she slowly advanced towards me. Her movement was unnatural, as if she floated inches above the ground. Panic seized me, and I scrambled back to my car, desperately fumbling for the keys. As the engine roared to life, I cast one last glance at the woman. Her sinister smile widened, revealing rows of jagged teeth. Without warning, she let out a piercing scream that echoed through the night, piercing the silence like a knife. It was a sound of pure agony and malevolence. I slammed my foot on the accelerator, my car rocketing forward, leaving the horrifying apparition behind. The road stretched out ahead, seemingly endless, but I couldn't shake the feeling of her presence lingering in the rearview mirror. That night, I drove until the first rays of dawn painted the sky with shades of gold. Exhausted and shaken, I vowed never to venture out on such a desolate road again. The memory of that encounter would forever haunt me, a reminder of the terrors that lurk in the darkness, waiting for unsuspecting souls like mine.